Both the Florida Panthers and the Las Vegas Golden Knights are up 2-0 in their respective series. And both the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets are up 3-0 in their respective series. Both in a best-of-7 situation where you need 4 wins to move on to the final round. This is getting pretty crazy now. We could potentially see all of these rounds end in sweeps. I think in basketball, at least one of these rounds is going to end in a sweep. For hockey, the other team definitely has more potential for it to not end in a sweep. I really think that the Celtics and Lakers are both done for. Reason why I say that is because no team in the NBA history has ever been able to turn around a 3-0 deficit. It's happened 4 times in hockey and once in baseball. And football doesn't do best-of-7 series. But it's never actually been able to happen in basketball. Never been able to happen in basketball. Which I just find to be, pretty crazy. But, yeah, never happened in basketball. So, both the Celtics and the Lakers would make NBA history if they were to make it to the finals. And I'm not talking about like that small NBA history that we always hear being said about like some new record. I'm talking major NBA history will be set if either of these teams wind up making it into these rounds, which is why I doubt it's going to happen. And I think we're going to see the Miami Heat taking on the Denver Nuggets. And just a very interesting thing is the Nuggets have actually never been able to make it to the NBA Finals. Now, in hockey, the Florida Panthers were able to win both of their games over the Carolina Hurricanes in overtime thrillers. One of which went into 4 overtime periods. Golden Knights have had 2 easier games winning against the Dallas Stars. I feel like we're going to see Golden Knights versus Florida Panthers in the NBA Finals. Panthers have never won the NBA Finals. Neither have the Golden Knights, though. So it guarantees someone new to have it. What makes the Las Vegas Golden Knights different, though, is that they were only this is like their 6th year as a team, and we still think that they're going to make it all the way in. Obviously, every single team who's made this far has had a journey. The Las Vegas Golden Knights first had to take down the Winnipeg Jets, which I believe they did in 5 games, and then they had to move on and take down the Edmonton Oilers, which I believe got done in 6. The Dallas Stars, I don't even remember who was in their first series, because I don't follow hockey that closely. Then they took on the Seattle Kraken, which they unfortunately were able to beat in 7 games. That game 7 was just horrible. Grabber, who was the goalie of the Seattle Kraken, did his job. Unfortunately, nobody else did. And that's unfortunate. Literally nobody else did what was needed to do for the Seattle Kraken to be able to win, and that's why they wound up losing. Now, in the Eastern Conference, the Florida Panthers, I'm telling you, absolutely historical performance against the Boston Bruins. Boston Bruins made NHL history by getting the most points in a regular game season at 135. Not only a President's Trophy, but the most ever. Quickest team to ever clinch the hockey playoffs. Yet, even though they built up a 3-1 lead, could not take down the Florida Panthers. Absolutely astronomical. Then they had to take down the Toronto Maple Leafs, which got done in 6 games. Carolina Hurricanes, their time into the NBA Finals, and into the NHL Finals, we had to see the Carolina Hurricanes first take down the New York Islanders in 6 games. Even though the Islanders made history in Game 3, you know, the Hurricanes still got it done. Then they took down the New Jersey Devils in, I believe, 7 games. And in these hockey playoffs, I thought it was really going to be Hurricanes and Golden Knights make it out on top. But I think we're going to see the Florida Panthers succeed instead. And the reason why I think that is because the Florida Panthers are up 2-0. They've been a dominant team the whole time. They really shocked everyone. And it's very surprising as you see so many parallels of how one of the best Western Conference teams takes on one of the worst Eastern Conference teams, if not the worst, who qualified. Both of the Eastern Conference teams are from the Miami area. Again, very interesting parallels. In basketball, all those teams who made it so far also had stories that need to be told. The Miami Heat first had to take down the Milwaukee Bucks. And taking down a team who has 14 more wins than you is not easy, but the Heat got it done anyway. Then they took down the New York Knicks. Bucks won 5 games, Knicks won 6. The Boston Celtics had to take down the Atlanta Hawks in a surprisingly tough 6 games. Tragically, in Game 7, the Boston Celtics smashed the Philadelphia 76ers, advancing into their next round, causing Doc Rivers to be fired. Speaking of firing head coaches, I'm actually attempting to do a research project on it, and I was doing football and basketball specifically, but I might need to go back more years than I wanted to, because otherwise I don't think I'm going to meet the requirements for us to sample. I'll talk to my teacher about that. Anyway, Denver Nuggets first has to take down the Minnesota Timberwolves, which got done in 5 games. After taking down the Timberwolves in 5 games, they had to go up against the Phoenix Suns, which I believe they got taken care of in 6 games. And finally, the Los Angeles Lakers shocked everyone by starting off 0-5 and then 2-10, still making the playoffs. At points, they had less than a 1% chance of making the playoffs, especially considering that they were in 13th place by the end of February with a losing record. They were able to get themselves up to the 7th seed in the NBA playoffs, beat the Memphis Grizzlies in 6 games, and then take down the Golden State Warriors, I believe, in only 6 games. I've been seeing a lot of NBA stuff about how everyone predicted it to be Celtics versus Lakers, but I'm almost certain that we are going to see both of these teams fail. It would be truly unprecedented. Not saying that can't happen, and I'm a bit worried about the Celtics because of how the only MLB team who came back from a 3-1 deficit, from a 3-0 deficit, was the Boston Red Sox against the New York Yankees in the 2004 championship series. Could Boston basketball do what Boston baseball is able to do and come back from this 3-0 hole? I hope not. But I still think that these teams are going to be unsuccessful in the act. Hockey, they're only up 2-0, though. Only a 2-0 lead. And what makes it even worse for hockey's perspective for these winning teams is that they have overcome 3-0 deficits before. The 1942 Stanley Cup Finals, perhaps the most famous one, and there were others. I'm telling you that, again, this is going to be a really crazy finals, as we see 2 teams who likely easily got the job done, but maybe not. Maybe there'll be epic comeback stories instead. Hopefully it's not the Boston Celtics who make a comeback, though.